Rebecca and Ken are based in Vermont, but they spend the summer touring and the whole year, not just the summer. They spend their part of the year touring and sharing their music with us, and we're really glad they're here tonight. I think you're going to enjoy the show. Let's give them a warm welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and thanks everybody for coming out.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Thanks so much for coming out this evening. Ken and I drove down from Vermont for this show, and actually this is like, our third or fourth time performing at this library, so it's kind of become a tradition at this point. But yeah, we're Rebecca and Ken, otherwise known as Hungrytown. Most of the songs that you're going to hear this evening are ones that we wrote, so we usually explain a little bit about each song as we go through the program. This next song was written on a beautiful autumn day, so you can just imagine a nice cool autumn breeze maybe. And so it's got some of that imagery in it, but it's also the story of a young couple who have just met and fallen in love. And the song is written from the young man's point of view as he's heading off to war. And he's just kind of like looking around him at home and familiar surroundings and already feeling a little bit homesick even as he's heading off. So this song is called November Song.
Are you ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Through the hills as the streams do flow, that's the way she always seems to go. As autumn trees burn against the sky, so shines the color in my true love's eyes. The Jumping high, you can catch the sun. Turn the clock back when the day is done. Teach the sea to forsake the shore. Stop the young men marching on to war. Through the hills as the streams do flow. That's the way she always seems to go. As autumn trees burn against the sky, so shines the color in my true love's eye. Ken and I have been touring for almost 20 years now, and we had to take obviously a couple years off during COVID, and before that we'd been doing maybe 150 concerts a year, and to the point where I thought, oh, it might be nice to spend a little more time at home. And then the pandemic came along, and I remember thinking, okay, that's not exactly what I had in mind. Maybe something a little less deadly. But yeah, be careful what you wish for. But we have an album of songs that are all inspired by our travels, and we'd like to do one of those songs for you next. This is on our album Further West, and the song is called Don't You Let Me Down.
Feel free to sing along. It's that kind of song.
Young girl for my wife, don't you let me down. Got her hair turned gray on our wedding night. Don't you let me down. Don't you let me down. Don't you let me down. Her hair turned gray on our wedding night. Don't you let me down. I bought a house high on a hill. Don't you let me down. Turn to dust as houses will. Don't you let me down. Don't you let me down. Don't you let me down. Turn to dust as houses will. Don't you let me down. I saved a nickel every day. Don't you let me down. The bank man stole it all away. Don't you let me down. Don't you let me down. Don't you let me down. The bank man stole it all away. Don't you let me down. A truer friend you'll never find. Don't you let me down. Till the day I leave you all behind. Don't you let me down. Thanks so much. So we were excited because last fall we finally got to go back to the UK, and we've been touring over there for many years. It's one of our favorite places to listen to music as well as to perform it. And a lot of the songs that we write are inspired by traditional folk songs, like the next couple of songs that we're going to play for you. This first one, actually they're both tales of love gone wrong. And this first one is an Irish traditional ballad, and it's about sending the object of your affection love letters, which they keep returning to you completely unopened. So So I guess the modern version would be like texting someone and they're just ghosting you in response. But this is one that we recorded on our upcoming album, which will be coming out sometime next year. And the song is called Green Grow the Laurels.
An oldie but a goodie. Are you ready?
Green grow the laurels, soft falls the dew, and sad I was, darling, when parting from you. Perhaps in the future our love will renew, and we'll join the green laurel and the violet, so blue. I wrote my love a letter with red rosy line. He wrote me back another, all twisted and twined, saying keep your love letter and I will keep mine. You will write to your love and I'll write to mine. I walk by his window both night time and day, and the look that he gave me 1,000 would slay. Oh, the look that he gave me 1,000 would kill. Now he hid and deceived me, I love that boy still. Oh, sometimes I wonder why women love men, and sometimes I wonder why men do love them. But from my own knowledge will have you known that many are deceivers wherever they go. Thank you so much. In a couple of weeks in Scotland, we played this next song that we're going to play for you there, which is a Scottish traditional ballad. And oddly enough, no one corrected me on my pronunciation of any of these words, although I'm sure they were all wrong. But I feel it's just safer to use my American accent in these instances.
It's really the only one we have.
It's really the only one I've got, yeah. So this is another tale of unrequited love, and in this case, what happens is the person that you love not only ends up marrying somebody with a lot more money, but you also have to serve in the wedding party, so you can watch while the whole festivity is happening. So this is called The False Bride.
Are you ready?
I once loved a lass and loved her so well. I hated all others who spoke of her ill. And now she's rewarded me well.
I saw my love up to the church go, with bridesmen and bridesmaidens she made a fine show. And I followed on with my heart full of woe, for she's gone and she's wed another. I saw my love as she sat down to dine. I sat down beside her and I poured the wine, and thought on the lass who should have been mine, for she's gone and she's wed another. All the men in the forest, they ask it of me, how many strawberries grow in the salt sea. And I answered them with a tear in my eye, how many ships sail in the forest. So dig me a grave and dig it so deep, and cover it over with flowers so sweet, that I'll lay me down for to take a long sleep, and maybe in time I'll forget her.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the name of our group is Hungrytown, and we're going to play for you next the song that gave us our name. This is another one that we wrote, and it's inspired by a place, well actually we got the idea for the song when we were recording our first album, and we were hoping that we would have a band name in mind by the time that the album was done being recorded. And some of the recording we did in the Blue Ridge Mountains region of Virginia, and we were there just recording some friends, and every day we would drive to the recording sessions past this little gravel road called Hungrytown Road, and we just thought that it was really a romantic looking place, and we liked the name Hungrytown, so we thought, well, let's drive down this road and see what this place Hungrytown is all about, fully expecting there to be a town at the end of the road. But we started down the road only to discover that it was just a dead end. And but that's when we knew it was the road for us. We felt a certain affinity with that dead end. And so we started writing the lyrics that became this next song, which is not so much about getting to any particular destination, but just finding the right road, the one that works for you. So this is our theme song, and it's called Hungrytown Road.
I got married when I was just a young girl, and I never seen much of the world, but I learned how to fight with the ones that I love, and to pay for the words that I said. There's a road that leads out of this town, and one day gonna follow it down. I'm going down the Hungrytown road till I reach the place I belong. Well, I saved and I worked every day, but it never seemed to put much away. It's too low a price for a life that's so dear, so I guess I'll be moving along. There's a road that leads out of this town, and one day gonna follow it down. I'm going down the Hungrytown road till I reach the place I belong. I look up at the mountain so high that their treetops are brushing the sky, and I know there's a road that leads past those hills, but I wonder how far it will take me. There's a road that leads out of this town, and one day gonna follow it down. I'm going down the Hungrytown road till I reach the place I belong. Till I reach the place I belong.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
So, you know, that song that we just played, that's our theme song, Hungrytown Road. And as Rebecca said, it really is a song about finding that little road, maybe between the hedgerows or between the buildings, a little road that you might have passed 1,000 times on your way to work or on your way to school. I never thought of taking it because, you know, it probably doesn't go anywhere, but, you know, maybe it does. Maybe it takes you to a better place, a place where you belong, a place where you want to be. And, you know, there's nothing new. It's an old concept. It goes way back in folk music. And the song we're going to sing for you now has a similar theme, going back to the early 1940s. This is a song written by the great American folk songwriter Woody Guthrie. He wrote it about the migrant laborers, sharecroppers and farmers during the Depression, and how they had to, you know, often abandon their farms and head, you know, down some little road, usually westward, trying to find a better life, a way to make a new start, and a way out of their difficult situation. This is our version of Woody Guthrie's Pastures of Plenty.
It's a mighty hard road that my poor hands have pulled. My poor feet have traveled a hot, dusty road. Out of your dust bowl and westward we rode. Your deserts were hot and your mountains were cold. I worked in your orchards of peaches and prunes, I slept on the ground in the light of the moon. On the edge of the city, you'll see us, and then we come with the dust and we go with the wind. Green pastures of plenty from dry desert ground, from the Grand Coulee Dam where the waters run down. Every state in the Union us migrants have been. We work in this fight and we fight till we win. It's always we rambled that river and I, all along your green valley, I work till I die. My land I defend with my life if it be. My pastures of plenty must always be free.
Well, it's great to see you all here at the Chicopee Library. We're Hungrytown. This is my lovely wife, Rebecca. I'm Ken. And, Rebecca told you earlier about during the whole COVID time and the worst of the pandemic season, how hard it was. 150 shows suddenly got canceled, and it was really hard for us because it's a big part, of what we do for a living. But we're not going to pretend that it was all about the lowly folk singer. It was just as much you too, whether you're sitting here or in TV land. A lot of our friends, lost family members. Some of them lost friends. And, it was a real time of disconnect from family and from friends and from communities, which is why it's nice to be able to play again and see communities coming together once again like this. It's really a great thing for us to be a part of. The song we're going to sing for you now, we wrote prior to the whole pandemic thing, but I think it's still current in many ways because it's really a song about what it feels like to be left behind. And I think that's something that all of us, sadly, have learned, have all experienced and have learned to feel. This is the title track from our second album, and it's called Any Forgotten Thing.
Up at the sky instead of down at my shoes. Can't seem to turn my mind to what each day might bring, 'cause I've fallen into disrepair like any forgotten thing. The clock upon the mantle is fallen out of time. I can't see why I should wind it while I'm so far behind. But I might replace the front doorbell just to hear it ring. Oh, let the old one rust away like any forgotten thing. Some things here can still be fixed, for others it's too late. But I can't be sure of what to keep and what to throw away. like living in the space between the winter and the spring. One season of uncertainty for every forgotten thing.
Thanks so much, everybody. We're going to do a couple songs in a row now from our second album, which is called Any Forgotten Thing. And this next one started out as just a melody that popped into my head when we were driving down the road. I think we were in New Mexico at the time. And sometimes it's hard to think of lyrics to go with a melody, but in this case it was actually kind of easy because the melody to me sounded like it came from a carnival or a fairground or something like that. So I immediately pictured a person on a carousel just kind of going around this ride and thinking back over some of the different decisions that they made in their lives, different things that happened to them. And so we wrote this next song and named it after the instrument you still hear sometimes on old carousels, which is called a calliope.
Music of the carousel, echoes a sweet refrain of fairground scenes from days gone by, and how we used to play. My horse is faded silver, yours is white and gold. Swiftly around the track we go, and where we'll stop, who's to know? You're always half a length ahead, no matter how well I ride. And the farther I stretch to grasp the ring, the more I start to slide. Play on, calliope, I hear you winding low. Our ride has only just begun, we've still got so far to go.
So this next song started out when we were trying to finish our album, Any Forgotten Thing, and I needed to write one more song for the record to be done. And sometimes that's a difficult thing to do, but to write that last thing, I sometimes have writer's block about finishing things. But in this case, I got lucky, because the night that I was trying to think of something, there was a really beautiful meteor shower outside the window, and just looked out the living room window and saw this meteor shower and thought, well, it might be fun to write a song where one of the characters is a falling star and just see how that goes. So this is our song, Falling Star. Are you ready? Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Saw one just the other night, making its way through the sky was a tiny light, just a falling star, a falling star, a falling star. I like to think it fell down to the ground, someplace safe, someplace it could be found. Just a falling star, a falling star, a falling star. Oh, little star, can you see me? Was it love that brought you down so easily? Just a falling star, a falling star, a falling star. Falling star, you shine so bright. I wonder what we would become without your light. Just a falling star, a falling star, a falling star.
Thanks so much. So a couple of winters ago, we were getting kind of tired of sitting on our couch waiting for the shows to come back. And it was great because we got invited to participate, or nominated to participate in this project organized by the Bert Jansch Foundation. Bert Jansch is one of our favorite songwriters and performers. It's no longer living, but he was in a band called Pentangle back in the 60s and 70s, and we're just great admirers of his work. Yeah, British songwriter. And so the Bert Jansch Foundation likes to keep his music alive, and what they did during the worst of the pandemic years, they had these 5 guitars that they sent out all over the world, and they were the type of guitars that he used to like to play. And so what would happen for those who were performing as part of this project, the guitar would suddenly appear and you would play your favorite Bert Jansch song on it or one inspired by him, upload it to the YouTube channel, and then when you were done, pass it along to the next person. And so one February, this guitar showed up in our driveway in the middle of a snowbank, and that was our Bert Jansch guitar, and we were invited to perform this song. And the one that we chose is a song, one of my favorite songs by him, and it describes the kind of night that probably most of us have experienced at one time or another, where you can't get to sleep because you're just worried about various things, but when the morning light comes through the window, it starts to seem like, okay, maybe this isn't so bad. And it just...
Kind of how the whole COVID time.
Yeah, it's kind of like how we felt at the time, and it just really struck a chord, so... no pun intended. So this is, and we actually ended up putting it on our upcoming album. This is Morning Brings Peace of Mind by Bert Jansch.
Are you ready?
Yes.
First sound of the day, so beautiful to hear, in the clear, bright sunlight that comes flooding, crystal clear voices so happy in the street. Oh, the new day beginning is so near. The new day beginning young and fair. my restless heart's never still, turning and tossing through the night. Thoughts run wild in confusion, people and places all jumbled in my mind. Oh, the new day beginning is so near, the new day beginning young and fair. Morning brings peace of mind, and the birds are singing in the air. Gone are the nightmares running, and the fear of the darkness is vanished with light. Oh, the new day beginning is so near, the new day beginning young and fair.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
We'd like to do a song for you next from our Further West album, and a lot of the songs on this record are sort of inspired by our travels, and they might have characters or stories in them, that kind of thing. But this one is a little bit different. We just wanted to describe the way something feels, kind of a different, just sort of like a little vignette. And what we chose to describe is what it feels like to be on the road. And this is something a lot of traveling performers write about. We have to pay homage to the road because it gets us where we need to go. So
Especially I-90.
Especially I-90.
Which actually goes to Seattle.
Yes. And we actually just got back from a tour of the Midwest, so we're well acquainted with it. But yeah, this is just about, you know, getting in the car and heading out, and sort of the romance of travel, but also the loneliness of it. And this is called Static. No lights on this highway, no reflectors, hard to see where we are turning now. Driving after midnight past the farmers who have put their fields to bed. Gone so far you'll never catch me now. Soon to be forgotten anyhow. The radio just crackles, only static anytime I think of tuning in. I know just how it feels to think you've lost whatever signal you once had. Gone so far you'll never catch me
past a traffic light. Maybe we can get to California by the morning if we drive all night. Gone so far, you'll never catch me now. Soon to be forgotten anyhow.
Thank you. Thanks so much, everybody. So we got a nice breeze at this part of the evening, which is really welcome. I want to thank everybody for coming out.
We have one more song.
We have one more song for you, but just want to thank the library for sponsoring this concert and Chicopee TV for coming out to film tonight. We have one more song for you. If any of you would like to take this music home with you, we have CDs for sale, we have t-shirts and tote bags, all sorts of good stuff over there. You can also sign up for our newsletter.
It's known as the news dumpster.
Yes, so it's very classy.
Let us stink up your inbox.
Yes. And you can find us on any of the streaming platforms. Please give us a follow or add us to a playlist.
And you can find us at hungrytown.net.
Hungrytown.net and facebook.com/hungrytown and on Instagram as well. So please
Like,
join
what else
us
is
online.
there? That's right.
Yeah. So we're going to finish up here with, this is kind of a summertime song we wrote, sort of an Appalachian harmony ballad called The Sweetest Flower. Thanks again for coming out and listening. We appreciate it.
The sweetest flower I ever saw grows on the westward plain. The only boy I ever loved, I never may see again. The blue star blooms but once a year, when the sun shines bright in the sky. But if you pluck those flowers out, then they will surely die. And if you tell the one you love that you'll be no man's bride, he'll leave you sure as the sun will rise, as sure as the tears you'll cry. The flowers in my garden grow and bloom from spring to fall, but wildflowers grow just where they will and need no care at all. The sweetest flower I ever saw grows on the westward plain. The only boy I ever loved, I never may see again.
Thank you, we're Hungrytown. Have a great evening. Drive carefully.